I've been in the wrockumentary, just for a short clip, but you know, enough that they showed the wrockumentary at Terminus, and I'm like, I wonder if I'm going to see me, and I'm sitting way in the back of the entire crowd, and I'm just hoping there'll be enough that I'll actually be able to catch a glimpse of my face on the screen, like, hey, that was me. And they got a whole, you know, quote from me, but as soon as my face came on the screen, all of a sudden everyone starts squealing, and it's like, the heck, are people paying attention to me? It's like, gee, I feel special. But there's actually a bit of a story behind it. At first, I resisted like you wouldn't believe. I wanted nothing to do with Harry Potter. It was a stupid fad, kind of like Pokemon and other ridiculous little teeny bopper things. At this point, I was in college. A friend of mine, in fact, someone I was sort of kind of dating, gave me the first book. And I read maybe the first 7 or 8 pages. I'm like, this is not interesting. So I put it on the shelf. A couple years after that, I was visiting a friend of mine out in Denver. I was on a cross-country road trip, one of those discover yourself kind of things. Apparently I did. She said, we're going to watch the first Potter movie, because she had it on video. And I said, no. She took my car keys and said she wouldn't let me drive back from, you know, she wouldn't let me have my car keys back until I sat and watched the first movie. So, how can you argue that? I sat, I watched it, I figured it's a movie. I'm like, that wasn't too bad. So as I'm driving 3,000 miles, squiggling back and forth through about, 15 or so states back to New Hampshire, my brain starts churning. I'm like, I should read the book. So I read the book. I was an Army reservist, and I was going to be on duty for the next 3 weeks or so. So I read the first book and promptly bought the next 3, because there were 4 out at that point. Read them through, then read them all through again. I kept me sane during that training session, and I was hooked. A couple months after that, I started getting a little stir crazy and twitchy. I wanted to see what was going on, what people were saying, discussing, waiting for the next book. I went online, and then I discovered fan fiction, and it all went downhill from there. Well, I would not be able to give you the standard woman's response. Okay. Most slash is written by straight women. I'm queer. I am sexual orientation queer, and I am gender queer. I do not identify as male or female. I identify as masculine, if anything. I relate to the male characters, but to me it's a character exploration. And I can write PG or I can write NC-17. And it's not about what activities those characters are doing in the sexual sense. I want to see those characters as people laid wide open. I want to see what makes them tick, drag out the innermost core of their being, and use it as a reflection of humanity and myself. A self-exploration, an exploration of other people around me, who people are as human beings. So when I explore characters, I'm looking at who they are. I enjoy slash because I enjoy the male characters. I relate to them a lot more than I relate to the female characters, so that's why I write slash. I like those personality interactions. I prefer any combination of Draco, Snape, and Harry. I like the dynamic between Harry and Draco. They're on the same footing. I cannot write Harry Snape without Harry being at least 25 years old. I'm older than I look, don't ask. You can guess, whatever. But obviously Harry was a child in the early movies. I don't even watch the early movies anymore because I've read too much slash fan fiction and I just can't do it. I'm like, well, okay, take a look at me. Dan Radcliffe looks like he could be my little brother. You'd think I could handle that? When I'm writing slash fan fiction, I am not picturing the actors. I can't. I don't. To me, they're actors portraying characters. And when I write, I'm writing about the characters. It has nothing to do with the actors. I don't have them in my head. It's not associated with that. And I see these characters as a continuation of their existence into adulthood. I'm on LiveJournal. My screen name is Mijan, M-I-J-A-N, 5 letters. You can count it on one hand. Makes it simple for Gryffindors to remember.